Good evening, everybody. I will call the Southbury Board of Selectmen regular meeting September 4th, 2025 to order at 7 p.m. if we have the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have a presentation from First Light tonight about the solar array they intend to build up by the Chippewa Dam, and this is for the benefit of the public about this. So I think if you go there, the green light should be on that mic. If not, you need to push the button.
And I turn that
if you let everybody know your name and...
Absolutely. My name is Andy Bridges. I'm the Director of Community Relations for First Light, and I am joined here tonight by Brian Wood, who's our Senior Land Manager, and Sandra Wood, who's our Director of Business. Brian Wood, Sandra Brown, who is our Director of Business Development, and Tori Hanna, who works for Davis Hill Development, who's a partner of us, development partner for energy projects. So I'll let Tori introduce DHD in a second. We wanted to come to the board tonight to give you an update on a project that I think we had referred to last time we were here. We were here last time to talk about a smaller project that will be powering the hydroelectric station itself at the Chippewa Dam. That's only about a 250 kilowatt project. It hasn't broken ground yet, but it's fully permitted, and we're hoping to break ground before the end of the year on that. This is a larger project that is uphill from the dam, and from that will not be behind the meter. It will be what we call in front of the meter, and selling power through, Sandra can talk about it in more detail, but through Eversource's community solar program. So this is a larger array. It will, because of its size, be going through the Connecticut Siting Council. So we wanted to, before we made that filing, we wanted to come to the board to let you know about it. You will certainly be notified when we make that filing, and there'll be a public comment period through the Siting Council process where the town can issue comment, although we're more than happy to take questions tonight as we go through the presentation. This is not a long presentation, but we have a long, healthy relationship with Southbury that we're very proud of. First Light, of course, is primarily a hydroelectric company, but we do own other types of renewable energy and carbon-free energy, including pumped energy storage and batteries and solar fields. And we are always on the lookout for developing on our own lands and other opportunities, other ways to decarbonize the electric grid and contribute more carbon-free power to the electric mix. So this project is in line with that. All those dots on the map are where we have facilities. So we actually, from the western edge of Ontario to northeastern Quebec, and then here in the United States in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Pennsylvania. I'll let Tori, do you want to come up and just introduce Davis Hill Development? You probably should be at the mic just so they can hear you.
The floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for the time, everyone. I'm Tori Hanna. I'm Vice President of Development for a company called Davis Hill Development. We're a commercial and utility scale solar and battery developer. We're based in Greenwich, Connecticut. I've been with the company for about 8 years. We focus on really the full suite of development services. So we go out and originate projects. We try to find land that's suitable for solar and battery projects. We then develop, meaning we get interconnection permits, land use permits, like the Connecticut Siting Council permit Andy was just mentioning. Then we will construct the projects, and then we will own and operate them. On the front end, using kind of GIS technology, is our origination platform, and that's how we met First Light a few years back and said, you know, we're interested actually in this particular location, and that tiny conversation turned into a broader joint venture. So we've been working with First Light for the last few years, but a little bit about us.
That's great, thank you. Yep. So let's talk briefly about the project. So this will be a 2.6 megawatt project that's measured in direct current. It'd be 1.9 megawatts in alternating current, but it will produce about the amount of energy that's used by 400 homes. So it's not by any means the biggest utility scale project in Connecticut, but it's obviously sizable, and it's not quite 10 times the size of the earlier project we were talking to you about. It is located on property that First Light owns within the federal project boundary of our hydroelectric project, which extends up the Housatonic River. So it's on our property where the Shepaug Dam is located, sort of due north of it. It is up the hill and would not be visible from the dam, and we'll talk about it a little bit. It would also not be visible from the Eagle Observatory. So it should have minimal visible impact to the community and no effect on recreation and so forth. Again, it's meant to be a shared clean energy facility, which will provide energy and renewable energy credits to Connecticut ratepayers. They can elect through Eversource to purchase energy from this solar field, so the energy that it produces will be available to ratepayers here in Connecticut, including Southbury. And it's important to us to build these properties well. So it's what we call tier 1 technology, high quality technology, American-made materials, and then of course as an additional asset in the town, it would provide tax revenue to the town of Southbury throughout its life. We are committed to developing clean energy projects that support decarbonization, but that do it in a responsible manner. So I already mentioned, but this project will go through Connecticut Siting Council review because it meets the threshold for projects that go through that review process. We'd expect that to happen later this year. And again, the town would have an opportunity, and other members of the public have an opportunity to comment through that process. If it passes review at the Siting Council, it would also go through approval at FERC, which manages all the land within our project boundary because it's not strictly related to the hydroelectric projects that were licensed. So it would be a non-project use, and that would be something that we would address with FERC, and various state and federal agencies would have a chance to weigh in at that process as well. There'll be lots of consultation. We're sort of kicking it off here, but there'll be lots of consultation with agencies and stakeholders throughout the process. FERC, of course, who I mentioned, the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, U.S. Fish and Wildlife, the Siting Council, Connecticut DEEP, Department of Agriculture, the State Historic Preservation Office, the town, of course. Audubon, both the state and federal Audubon, we work very closely with them, of course, at the Bald Eagle Observatory, and Bend of the River and so forth is nearby, so we want to make sure we're available to answer any questions they have. Audubon has been generally supportive of renewable energy and solar. And then, of course, the abutting property owners and surrounding towns would be notified through the Siting Council process as well. Construction on this project is not expected to begin until mid-2026, and I would say that's probably at the earliest. So eagles, obviously, I hope everybody here has been to the Bald Eagle Observatory at least once in their life, but it's one of the recreation assets that we're most proud of as a company. It draws about 5,000 visitors a year, and not 5,000 eagles, but a healthy dose of eagles. I think the most we've seen in a single day is 36, but routinely it's a really fun place for people to go and enjoy seeing eagles where they spend the winter, because the water going through the dam keeps the river from freezing. So it's a good place for them to hang out and fish for the winter months. So this system will not be visible from the Eagle Observatory. It's really behind it and up the hill. It will be more than half a mile from any known eagle nests. We work with Connecticut DEEP, who maintains the database of where the active eagle nests are. They don't publicize that, but they're involved in this and they would ensure. But we will also not be performing construction during the key seasons that relate to the eagles, during the migration or the nesting seasons. And so tree removal would be limited to a certain time period. In the second bullet, no tree clearing will occur within 330 feet of the eagle nest. Again, we're not within half a mile of the eagle nest, so that threshold, that's really just how the regulation reads, but we're well further back from any known currently known eagle nests farther away than that. We'll be monitoring and collecting data on interactions between the local birds and the eagles and the array, and we'll comply with the recommendations given in the National Bald Eagle Management Guidelines. So it's a concern to us because it's such a valuable recreation asset that's so prized by the town that we're taking every precaution. But again, this will be further away from the water and not visible to the people that use that site for recreation. That eagle there was banded and released at the Shepog Dam after being hit and concussed on Route 84 a couple of years ago. He was nursed back to health by a nonprofit called Christine's Critters, who we've supported with some charitable grants. And anyway, Christine is holding him, and shortly after that, he did what he was supposed to do, flew back and hung out by the dam. So. In terms of land management, obviously there are been lots of concerns and lots of evolution in managing the land under solar fields. So we will be working to implement a solar farm plan between the rows and under this array and in the area surrounding it. And that farm plan will include pollinator plantings, native pollinator plantings to support biodiversity and soil health. It will involve enhancing, thanks. Yep, enhancing adjacent acreage with additional pollinator meadows and transitioning from grass that had historically been mown to more native areas supporting flowering species and insect and butterfly habitat. We do plan to have an on-site apiary. We have not identified a local beekeeper, but the goal is to partner with a local beekeeper and manage an on-site apiary that would produce honey and all the things that apiaries produce, and do that in partnership. This is a great opportunity, I think, to add that as an educational component to the recreation site. System footprint in total would be just under 12 acres. It's adjacent to the existing transmission line that runs north from the plant, so it would be, in essence, kind of a keyhole clearing adjacent to that transmission line further back in the woods. That was really the extent of the presentation. We're happy to take questions.
So are there any questions from the board?
I do have a question. What is the land currently like? Is it mostly trees? Is it mostly field? Like, what does that look like right now?
It is listed as prime agricultural fields. It was formerly farmland. It has grown up into, it's mostly trees now.
Mostly trees.
That would be, again, adjacent to the transmission line, which is already cleared. So this would be clearing a segment, kind of a square, if you will, to the left of the transmission line.
So it's like newer growth trees if it used to be agriculture, so,
Yes.
okay.
Yep.
Jason?
Thank you, sir. A couple questions. Most of them were going to be around the Eagles, but you addressed that already, and I appreciate you guys, just like you did in the last job, to make sure they're taken care of. And I also appreciate the work you're going to do with the land management. I think, turning that into a site that could be ecologically giving back to the areas is terrific. One of the slides said that if all timelines are hit, you're looking to start probably second half of next year on construction.
Yes.
What do we think the phases after that are? When do you expect this to be up and running, and how long is this kind of a live work area?
Do one of you want to come up to the mic and kind of address the expected construction timeline? I'll just go back to that slide.
Yeah, so we are hoping to submit to Siting Council in the next couple weeks. They have a lot of applications in front of them right now. We're hoping we could get a positive determination in 6 months. So at that time, we would begin the full procurement of all our equipment, the land preparation, and we could start construction, as Andy mentioned, optimistically in the middle of next year. The construction should not take that long. 3 months, 4 months to construct. Then about another month to 2 months for the electric company Eversource to witness test, kind of stress test the system and make sure it's safe to turn on. So we're looking at Q3 energization next year.
And in that process, obviously you have to get materials to the site. What are we looking as far as road traffic, trailers, things like that?
Very minimal. The biggest traffic creation with these type of projects is the equipment delivery. Once on site, the labor force would be the only traffic. After construction, we're honestly talking about twice a year an engineer would come and visit. Perhaps there will be more traffic from the beekeeper, but pretty minimal on that. And we're excited about the apiary component. So the construction period would include the delivery of solar panels, which come on flatbed trailers in shipping containers, the transformers, which are basically two big refrigerator-looking units, the racking system that the solar panels go onto, and that's pretty much it. It's staged at the site.
Okay, and I wouldn't hold you to an exact number, but are we talking about 50 containers, 100 containers? It's 3
Less.
days?
Less, yeah,
Okay.
maybe in the 20 container
Okay.
realm,
Okay.
20 to 30.
And would that traffic be coming just along River Road, or are we going through the purchase as well?
I think the plan would be to use River Road.
River Road.
That's the most efficient way in.
We got that fixed for you, don't
All
worry.
right, thank you.
Jeff, I have a question.
Ann?
Now, the traffic will be down the River Road, and it's been redone and fixed. Will it tolerate the large trailers and the
No
and the
problem.
containers? Not at all.
No,
My
problem.
other question is, it's a quiet location, the eagles are there, and I know you've done your due diligence to make sure that their quality of life is kept the way it is. How do the solar panels affect with the glare, the eagles flying and catching things, and it'll be a different topography now with the glare?
Yeah, so solar panels typically don't have a lot of glare. Their goal is to, absorb the sunlight. Where this has been raised as a concern is in really desert areas where a large solar field could be mistaken for a body of water, and a bird would come down, land, and then be stranded. Where that has occurred and mitigation efforts have been required, the mitigation is really to create a natural water habitat near that field. Well, we've got that here, right? So first of all, Connecticut is far more forested. New England is far more forested. We're not in a situation where this is an isolated field in a desert. There is a natural water body right there next to it. So, and also the fencing that goes around solar fields typically does not go down to the ground. It's raised up a little bit so that small mammals and birds and all can get out from the enclosure should they land in it. So it has not been an issue in Connecticut in terms of near airports or near fields. It's different than in the sort of California desert where you're talking about, hundreds of acres and no other natural water bodies nearby where these issues have been more of a concern. So we don't believe interfering with the bald eagle's life and hunting abilities and so forth would be a concern here. Yep.
The other question I have is, and I don't know if I just missed it, what is the acreage or it's 11 acres that it'll
Just
be
about,
covering?
just under 12, 11.77 is the latest estimate, yeah.
This is relatively close to the George Ewald Park. Will there be any impact on that park?
It would not be visible from it. It really, we don't believe will be visible even from the parking lot, from the Bald Eagle Observatory, and maybe some improvements to the access road. You can see it a little bit better, but no, it will not be prominently visible. The recreation trails that do go through our property adjacent to the plan, the easternmost recreation trail would be near the edge of this, but it would not be visible or interfering with the trails at Bend of the River or. Yeah.
So for me, having a farm and concerned about agriculture, and I see the Department of Agriculture, when you say ag, the Department of Agriculture,
Yes.
They're involved for what purpose?
Why don't you take that one, Sandra?
I mean, it's not agricultural property at this time.
No, but we are working on a farm plan to go with the applications. I'll let
Yeah.
Sandra fill it in.
Yeah, so it's technically listed as prime farmland, even though it's in a wooded state. So part of the requirements of participating in Connecticut's solar programs is that we work with the Department of Agriculture, when it has that designation, to develop a farmland, a farm plan, so that the use of the land does not change from agricultural. We didn't feel that, putting in crops was appropriate, given the fact that it's wooded currently, but we thought that transitioning the property to pollinator meadow, which complements some of the work that Brian Wood has been doing with FERC, really made good sense, and installing the apiaries alongside that. So part of our applications and work that we've done over the past 6 months has included pulling together a farm plan that we provided over to the Department of Agriculture, which they reviewed, and they agreed that it would be consistent with their expectations for a farm plan, a solar farm plan.
It's interesting because I'm involved right now with our farm on the NRCS and a number of mentors who are helping us with rotational grazing and soil health. There are business models for some farms that we're visiting with and talking with, that they actually, for maintenance of these solar panels, of this system, they graze sheep.
Yes.
And they're actually paid to graze the sheep, which
Yeah.
is wonderful. The other thing is that if there's going to be, I have asked that we consider local beekeepers that may be interested in doing that. And I would also like to, if we could, if there was a possibility of an educational aspect of the importance of honeybees and what they do. I know that though this is a ways away from a lot of other areas, bees travel a long ways.
Yes.
I will say my father had the foresight when they put power lines through our property that it was put into the easement that they could not spray. It was one of the few at that time that said, no, you can't spray, because we had bees. So I hope that educating the public would be part of the plan, as with the bald eagles, and someone could give I don't care if the person making the honey, we're having, able to sell it there too, but educate people on the importance of, and this may also, I would have to say, this probably will help support the bees in the area, the honeybees, which are a problem. So is that how do you plan on maintaining the growth of around these solar panels? Is there a plan?
So the short-term plan is honestly to implement a sheep grazing approach eventually.
Okay.
We'll probably do twice a year mowings at the start, simply, to remove the current species and allow for the native pollinators to, take hold. But, in the long run, we do plan on using sheep to graze. I have a number of other solar projects where sheep are used already, so it would be great to see them here too.
Great.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Would the sheep, live there all the time? Do you move them around? I know that's just a silly
No.
question, but you said, okay, so you just move them from field
Yeah.
to field and let
There's actually sheep as service to solar projects here in New England. You can rent sheep for, whatever time frame you need, and they will come, they will bring them, they will include any enclosures that they need to ensure that each portion of the array is, properly tended. It's actually very cool to see.
that is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to applaud that as being involved in agriculture, that's a service that they're providing. It makes the difference between whether an agricultural operation is successful or not. If, not just grazing the sheep, but also, that they get paid for the service. Otherwise, you have to pay someone to maintain it and mow it. So you reduce your overhead and cost by doing it, and the farmers benefit. I don't own sheep, so I'm not pitching for I don't have sheep, not having sheep. But, Ann?
My last question is, First Light obviously has done this in other places. You've showed us the little beacons where you have other solar. Is the future plan, if this works out very well, is there more property in that location that you would do a second solar field? Has there been any talk to enlarge it, or is this how big it's gonna be?
I think this would, so there are two there, the smaller one closer
Right.
to the plant over the hill, and then this larger one, and we have no intention of, building any additional on this site. We are looking at lands throughout that portfolio. Most of those were not solar fields, only a couple have solar, they're mostly hydroelectric plants, those dots on the map. But we would like to use this as a, case study to,
A model.
a model to, build. When you own hydropower, you own a lot of land along, so, where it's appropriate, we would examine our other sites that you saw on that map for
But
co-development.
not in that location?
But not in that location, we have no intention of doing
Okay,
that.
thank you.
Want to thank you for coming to the board. Eventually, there will be questions in the public if you didn't. And they would be calling us and asking what they're doing. And we're going to refer them, the citizens, to this presentation so they have any answers or any other questions. If they do have questions, we'll try to direct them. We'll be in contact in the right direction. But I think this is, looks to me like a pretty well thought out project.
Thank you. And if people have questions for us directly, our contact information is at the end of the presentation, but obviously there's also an opportunity to publicly comment through the formal permitting processes. So people are welcome to take advantage of that too.
And on that question, do you have any hearings scheduled with the setting council yet, or that's all
Not yet.
pending
No,
still?
we have not made the formal filing yet, so no.
Would you let us know when those
Yes,
hearings
of course.
are? That would be
Yeah,
great.
yeah,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right.
Mr. First Selectman, I'd like to make a motion to add an item under new business concerning the Assistant Animal Control Officer.
Can I have a second to add that to the agenda?
Second?
It's been seconded by Holly. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that carries.
Jeff, I'd like to make a motion also. I was happy to see that the senior center hours for Friday are now opened, and the extended hours are going to continue during the week. I was hoping to get the discussion on the agenda with that, just so we're updated on how that all transpired. So my motion is...
I can get that in my selectmen's report.
I'd rather make a motion to include it under unfinished business.
I'll second it.
Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And it carries. Keep me on check with that. Did I bring that up?
Yep.
Public comment? No public comment? Announcements of court?
Wait a minute.
Oh, way at the back.
Oh, Lord.
I almost, wait a minute, any public, other public comment? That's the second time. Okay.
After all this time.
Can you come up and, is the green light on?
Yes, it is.
You're-
And I never have a problem being heard as an old school
It's
teacher.
okay.
So Judy Katzmark, 646B, Heritage Village.
Closer to the mic, please.
Also,
Thank you.
Senior Commission Chair by acclamation. Heaven only knows what it was.
You missed the meeting and you got elected.
Yeah, right. That's exactly how it works. Just a quick thank you to you for listening to all those bodies that came for almost 3 months to put you through extended agony while we tried something. And I tried to convince people that this was a pilot program and they should give it a chance and then speak. But again, thank you. And thank you for putting the Friday hours back in, and we'll see how it goes.
Thank you. So I guess I better do, is there any other public comment? That's once. Is there any, we do have public here. Any other public comment? That's twice. third and final call. Any other public comment? And we have none. Thank you. Announcements to correspondence are in your packet. We have a consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
So, second?
Thank you. Any discussion?
I would just
None?
note that on 2C, on the proclamation, the map is wrong. It says it's 25B, it's actually 20B. On the request to purchase property, the two numbers don't match between, right there. That 25B should be 20B. If you go and look down below, or if you try to find it on the map, you'll find that down below here, 20B is actually correct.
So we'll make that, the corrections, and we should be okay. Thank you for that catch.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Good to have a realtor on the board.
You don't want to be giving away the wrong piece.
All those in favor of the consent agenda with those changes signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, it carries. Minutes of August 14th, 2025, regular meeting. Do I have a motion to approve? Have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Opposed, and it carries. We have no transfers. We have bids and procurements on the bid waiver request.
Hold on one sec, we do have transfers.
When did that come?
It's in the packet.
Oh. Okay, yes, all right, we do. I'm sorry. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the transfers?
Can I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? This is just housekeeping. All those in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? And it carries. Thank you for that. Bids and procurements, the bid waiver request in your packet. Do I have a motion to approve? Got a second?
Second.
Made and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? And it carries. No unfinished business?
Actually, we do. Senior Center was added.
Oh, unfinished, not new business, unfinished business, senior center. Yes, the senior center has gone, will be staffed on Friday. We are going to have, how that came about, once I was able to wrap my head around a number of things. Sometimes I have to figure it out. We are going to, our floater, I do have a floater. We do send a floater to every department to train. Our floater will be, is agreed, and this is the wonderful thing about the staff that we have now. She has agreed to normal, to a 5-day week, including 8, or the normal hours, regular hours on Friday for the senior center and the community center. She will be starting Monday for training at the senior center, like we train our floaters. Andrea and the staff will help her do that. The transportation coordinator will be working 5 days, so she'll be there on Friday. This individual, the floater, will be there once trained. That's determined by our director of the senior center, Andrea. So she'll be there to man that during there. And there's no additional cost to the taxpayers. There's no increase in headcount. The beauty of this is, in thinking about this, I thought, we're hiring people as their floaters. They have college degrees. They want to be productive. They are going to, I asked this wonderful person, I asked them, our phones today, we could take our phones and move to another department and it follows us. So the beauty is, if they're there and there's other work to be done, they can be working while manning. So if there's just a few people or whatever's going on, instructors there, they can also be productive. So that we're not losing, we're also still keeping our production, our people productive, active, engaged, rather than just be sitting there. So this is a win-win, and we will be open. I want to be clear about something. I was going to bring it up in my Board of Selectmen's report. There's a lot of talk out there about reducing services to our seniors. These are the facts and these are the data. One, our senior membership has increased quite a bit with these extended hours. They have increased, that's a fact. The other thing Andrea Cochran has sent to me, let me give you the numbers. In May of '24, because there was talk about we reduced transportation. That is not true. These are the numbers of the increase in transportation during this pilot program. This is an increase of services to our seniors. And for those who want to figure it out and do the math, this is almost a 40% increase in transportation of seniors during this pilot program. This was a successful program. And we are serving more seniors than we have before, and that's the data that is logged in to our transportation work. So this pilot program, as much as it caused a lot of angst, was successful. We've figured out a way to keep the center open on Fridays. So this whole thing has worked out.
And the bus service is gonna be restored
Yes.
for Friday too, then?
If there's call for service.
Okay, so.
But there it is, we have increased the number of senior transportations. That's the number,
Okay.
by
A
40%.
couple other questions I have. The 4-day work week policy now, which departments are gonna take advantage of working just Fridays?
Town hall will be a
The-
4-day
The whole
work
town
week.
hall? What about Park and Rec?
Right now, they are on 5-day. The senior staff is on a 4-day, except they will have other people staffing on Friday. No cuts.
So senior will go to 4, but there will be staffing on
And they have
Fridays?
graciously also said that if there's, when we get down the road, if there's somebody who needs a day, would like to take a day, they'll make some adjustments. This is the beauty of the staffing we have, the cooperation we have from our employees, the willingness to work together. It's worked out.
Okay, but the, my concern really is Park and Rec on whether or not they're going to the 4-day, because.
They're a 5-day.
Okay, so they will stay 5 days?
At this point, they are staying, I said that 3 times, Tim.
Okay, I'm just
3
trying to.
times, 5 days.
Okay, so it will be 5 days, so there won't be any services cut.
4 times, 5 days. Correct.
For Park and Rec. The only other question I have is, is the Board of Selectmen going to vote on this 4-day program? Per our charter, the Board of Selectmen should approve any new policies or procedures.
You want to put it to a vote of whether this, we've in the past have always been adjusted by the first selectman. And that includes summer hours and the decision to stay at winter hours with the from the winter, in the winter staying with what was originally the summer hours. Originally, the summer hours were till 1 o'clock, and then.
I mean, I understand where the vote would go, but I would rather call a vote on it, because per our charter, section 302, the Board of Selectmen shall establish overall strategy and policy for the town. The legislative authority shall be vested in the Board of Selectmen. So we did have it on the agenda. It was never followed through. We ended up going through with providing a floater idea to the Board of Finance, but never truly voted on whether or not the Board of Selectmen was going to vote on the 4 or 5-day program. So I would like to call a vote on it.
Whether we can do that or not inside this motion, I'm not too sure. I think that would be its own agenda item in motion.
So at this point,
Because this motion we're in now was specific to talk about the senior center.
Okay, can we add that to the next meeting then?
I'm not going to add it to the next meeting. So we'll move on from there.
Jeff?
Ann?
So, not to beat a dead horse, the
This
tra-
is-
I know we're talking about the senior center.
Senior center, thank you.
I understand that. So you said that the transportation has gone up significantly, our membership has gone up significantly for the 4 days, the Monday through Thursday. Is there any talk at any time in the future that we will have Friday's transportation back?
I just said the transportation coordinator will be there on Friday.
So, okay, so we do have a bus also for transportation on
If
Friday?
there's a call, yes.
Okay, I didn't understand that. Thank you for
Yes.
clarifying that.
Yes.
My.
This also, you also have to understand, it also depends, part of this is do we have the staff,
Right.
the bus drivers? For many years, we were very short on bus drivers. There was a bus driver shortage. I want to remind the board that it was a fight to get bus drivers. Right now, we have bus drivers. Part of this 4-day program has meant that the bus drivers have been able to fill their hours in 4 days because, as you see, it increased here, so they were needed those 4 days. Now, I don't know if we're going to have drivers available for for Fridays. I don't know. That's a scheduling thing and a staffing issue.
Okay, and then the only reason I asked it is for everyone out there in TV land.
Right,
And I
and-
wanted to make sure they understood.
Right.
I know, they know it's 5 days now, you know, with the Fridays at 8 to 1, but just about the transportation, there's gonna be questions, so I
Right,
just.
and it's about the hours they have to work. So also know that when we did this busing many years ago, how do we attract drivers to keep them? Because it was a problem. One of the things we did was try to make sure they got 20 hours of work, which allowed them to get some time off. They could earn time off, so that if they were to take they'd accrue time, so that if they wanted to take a day, they would still get paid for something. So that helped attract bus drivers here. You have to, it's very difficult to get bus drivers.
So if there is a need, we will have Friday transportation, that's what you're saying?
If we have the
The
staff.
staff to do it,
And,
okay.
and like I said, we have staffing right now that's covering a 40% increase during the week. So, and we have not increased, and that's still within the budget for the hours they're working. If there's calls for expansion of that, if it's not in the budget to bring them in, we can't bring them in, because we
How-
don't have the budget for it.
How would the need be brought to light? So do people need to ask you for that? Will the senior center ask you for
They'll
that?
be logging the request.
They'll be logging it, okay,
Right.
saying
But we
that
may
there's a
not
lot
be
of
able
requests.
to. We may not have the
Right.
staffing.
But if you see a list of 100 people that want to go on Friday and you don't have the staff, that's your key to say, okay, we're gonna need.
If we have the hours
Okay.
to adjust and the.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate
the
that.
drivers are amenable to work on Friday.
Right.
That's
No,
a-
I understand. I
that
just
is a-
wanted everyone to understand, so thank you very much.
But
My-
again, understand that the transportation
extended
isn't, we went from here to 40% more. That doesn't necessarily mean the beauty of that is it's happening all in 4 days, which allows us to increase the numbers because it's more efficient to move everybody around.
So maybe at budget time, if it
We
doesn't
may
happen
have
right
to.
away, we'll have to look at that.
We'll have to take a look at that.
Okay, and my last comment is,
It's
I
okay.
swear, is I wanted to thank everyone that came here, all the seniors that took their time. It was dark out, if they can't see when they, or whatever the case might be, they made it to these meetings, which I thought was fantastic. Because when you see a crowd, it's wonderful. They were all well-thought-out speeches, planned, it was wonderful. So I'm happy to every senior citizen and anyone that stood up there and voiced their opinion.
Okay.
And yeah, on that note, I think one of the number one things that I can always stress to anybody, and if they're watching from home, they know this already, but bringing it to us directly instead of venting on social media makes all of the difference, because there's a lot of times that we can't respond, maybe we don't even see it, we're not aware, we're not in that group, whatever it is. Please, social media is great for a lot of resources, but when it comes to trying to get something corrected in town, the place to do it is in this room. So they did a great job of that.
Okay.
And I'll be brief. Just to kind of put a bow on this, and I said it last time, and as the liaison of the senior center, I'm probably there more often than I ever thought I'd be at a senior center at my young age. But to watch how they work and how they serve the public in many seniors who really need it is kind of awe-inspiring, and I appreciated that. And one of the things that this pilot did show was the opportunity for some of these later classes during the week were very well received. And I'm glad that we were able to learn that. And I'll show some of my cards now during the next budget discussions. I'm probably going to make an argument that maybe we could see what we can do to extend those hours maybe a little more. But I was excited to see how it is. I'm glad we were able to get to probably a better conclusion, and I think as I left the meeting last time, we were going to get to, that we're going to service everybody and not need to create a position or incur any more costs. So I think that's kind of the icing on the cake, that this really, for all the turmoil on the way to get here, I think we got to a really good place. So thank you, everybody, for that.
Okay, thank you. Next is the,
We added to new business an item regarding the Assistant Animal Control Officer.
do I have a motion to approve the resolution?
I haven't seen the resolution yet.
Betsy, do we have the You have not seen the resolution? All right, yeah, this came in, we need to get this person in the academy. It's the Assistant Animal Control individual. I don't know if you just saw, if it came in. So the resolution is resolved that the Southbury Board of Selectmen, upon the recommendation of the hiring committee and the Human Resources Administrator, hereby hires Kendra Kurkowski for the Assistant Animal Control Officer position. Do you have the memo? I'll read the memo from Claire Donovan, Finance and Human Resource Administrator. After interviewing several qualified candidates for the Assistant Animal Control position, the Selection Committee and I have carefully reviewed all applicants. After thorough consideration, we are pleased to recommend Kendra Kurkowski for the role. Kendra has demonstrated the skills, experience, dedication necessary to effectively fulfill the responsibility of the position. We are confident that she is the best fit to serve the town and support its animal control activities. We look forward to welcoming Kendra to the team and are excited about the contributions she will bring to the community. This is a part-time per diem, part-time person to fill in for animal control officer.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Have a second? Any further discussion?
I just had one question.
Go ahead.
Is this position already budgeted for?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
That's my question.
Yeah, we haven't, nobody lets me move ahead without a budget number, which is understandable, but it's been not filled for a while. Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And it carries. First Selectmen's report. I'm really excited to share that the Southbury Public Library reopened to the public on Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025, 2 months ahead of schedule. Before opening the library to the public, our department head meeting was held on location so we could see firsthand all we had accomplished together as a team and be there to celebrate when the doors were first opened. I will be rotating from time to time my department head meetings to various buildings, including the PD, to try to create a team approach. It's very important to make sure that we all understand what's going on with each department and how we interact. Do we have that picture?
I'm trying to get it up, Jeff.
So we were there. I just want to, again, I look in the picture of the department heads that were at this. This never would have happened without the staff of this municipality. The employees rallied together to make this happen. I frankly, when I expected November 1st, I figured we were safe with November 1st, never dreamt it would be 2 months ahead of schedule. IT was working Saturday in, Friday. They come together to get it done, and I'm pretty happy. And I've been in the comments I've heard at the library have been tremendously positive. People are thrilled that it looks like it did just before the flood, which it should. We protected it. Oddly, I was over there visiting today, and I ran into a family. There was grandparents, a mother, a young child, 2 years old. They're from Monroe and Watertown. They come to our library to get, I'm like, wow. So when we tell FEMA and our federal delegation, who was of no help, that this is a community building, it really services a lot of the surrounding regional communities. This library is well-known. So also, Poverty Road sidewalk and crosswalks, the design phase is complete for the new Poverty Road sidewalk project. Transfer station retaining wall, the core sampling was completed at the transfer station for future retaining wall project there. I look forward to the improvement in operations there for both our transfer station employees and town residents. Progress continues on the Oldfield culvert replacement. It was quite a job. Those are 80,000-pound pieces. And I watched as they greased those little plastic pads expecting it to move, and started with a small excavator, then the bigger excavator, and then they got the big excavator in, and I wasn't sure that was gonna move it, but they did get that in place. And we are still expecting, I think, sometime in October, the end of October, a completion date. I hold my breath on these things because I'm like, wow, there's a lot to get done, but just like the library, all of a sudden it'll come together. So we expect, I'm hoping by the end of October on that. September's back to school month. I would like to wish all our Region 15 students and staff a safe and productive start to the school year. To our public, I would like to remind you to please put safety first while driving, and be especially careful of children waiting for buses and the increased activity on the roads. And of course, please do not pass the buses when they're stopped picking up school children. Senior Center Director, congratulations to our Senior Center Director, Andrea Cochran, for her appointment as Southbury's representative to the Greater Waterbury Transit District Board of Directors. GWTD oversees transit for older adults and people with disabilities in the Greater Waterbury area. Southbury Women's Club backpack operation is always well received. Thank you to the Southbury Women's Club for providing backpacks and supplies to Southbury Helping Hands to provide sneakers for 106 children through their Operation Backpack. The Southbury Women's Club worked with Mary Silverman, Southbury Social Services, to ensure that all our school-aged children have everything they need to get off to a great start this school year. To learn more about the backpack operation or to contribute for next year, please click there. I just want to say that it's interesting, you know, unless you get involved in these, they order backpacks from many different places. The purpose is so that no child recognizes that you received a backpack through this program. So it's quite wonderful how they do it. And that is my report. We'll move on to reports from liaisons.
Jeff, I just have one question. There was some talk on social media that the elevator in the library isn't completed. Is
The
there
what?
Elevator
The
in the
elevator
library?
does not operate.
Is there a target date for when
There's
that?
a contract the contract, we approved it, was in our minutes. So they're making the parts. They're actually we're finally getting parts for ours here. This is inoperable. They actually have to physically manufacture each individual part, and it's pretty frustrating, but it is the nature of the business. They've got to take that whole thing apart, take it out. So there's no elevator until we can get, but the contract's out there. It was awarded, we awarded it here, if you remember. We awarded it here to be done. So thank you, social media, instead of calling us. Call my office.
I want to address that because the library made specific note the day that it opened, that they are making reasonable accommodations. If someone
Yeah.
needs something on the second floor, they'll go get it for them, but they'll do everything they can, so just.
Yep. Ann?
So we had oh, thank you. I always forget that. EMS committee meeting, there was none. We didn't have a quorum. That was on August 19th. We did have a meeting for LEPAC, Local Emergency Planning Commission. There was a new plan that was redone, Local Emergency Operation Plan, which was finished. This meeting was August 20th. It has to be redone every year, so that is completed. By the end of the week, which was the end of August, there was a new school plan that was going to come out, and the emergency director is going to work with the school to come out with their safety plan. In this year's budget, it was approved to have 5 new AEDs put into different locations in town. Those are being put up now because they were received. On September 6th, Southbury Celebration is going to happen. September 9th, they're going to have a emergency operation drill that's run by the state. Excuse me. The reason that the town of Southbury is able to go because they applied for a performance grant in order to be part of this drill. And they were approved for that, and so September 9th, they'll be off. There was nothing for the PD, EMS. They're having more heart safety community and CPR classes, and they are looking for more volunteers. So if you know anyone that would like to take a class and become an EMT, please contact EMS. The health department is working with the fire marshal, yeah. It's called Matter of Balance. They go to the senior center. There's a lot of people that fall and they can't get up. So they are trying to help people better their homes. They will come to your home if you call them. This is the health department. If there's loose rugs, if you're not wearing the right stocking feet, they help you not to fall. So they will come to your home if you call them. They're also looking to be on the cable channel at Heritage Village. They were very excited because on NBC Connecticut, they're doing ads. I saw a couple of them. They were very good. They're having a flu clinic at the end of September and one in November. So that's for LEPAC. And then we had a special meeting for the library. It was it was the 27th of August. It was right before the grand opening. We spoke about the deep cleaning. All the rugs were deep cleaned at the library. There was another discussion about the classes for staff development that was approved. There was some new desks they needed for the grand opening, and we talked about the grand opening and the treats that were going to be served. So that is my report.
Thank you. Selectman Betty?
None of my committees have met since last meeting.
Okay. Selectman O'Neill?
Let's see. Community Relations Task Force has not met. Conservation Commission, they met on the 28th. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend that, and they don't have their minutes out for that yet. Park and Rec Commission, the director's report, 8 weeks of camp ended on Friday, August 8th. They had several field trips throughout the year: Lake Compounds, Bronx Zoo, the Connecticut Sports Center, bowling alley, Quassapog, a bicycle tour in Kent, Ham and Acid. They went to the Adventure Park, Dave and Buster's, and Roller Magic. The concerts at Settlers Park were a hit over the summertime. Plenty of space there and some great music. And currently, the staff at Park and Rec is planning the Fall Festival. It's a series of events On Thursday, October 16th, and Saturday, October 18th, they will have carving pumpkins and stuffing scarecrows. On Saturday, October 18th, they will invite kids to come in costume for the showing of Hocus Pocus on an inflatable screen outside the town hall, and there will also be a costume contest. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Selectman Sullivan.
So Region 15 has not begun their regular meetings yet, but they did have a retreat in August 19th. I thought that sounded really fun, like they'd be doing trust falls and stuff like that, but it's actually a lot of work. So it's really just a deep dive into things that they want to tackle this year and bigger conversations. So instead of just a regular board meeting where you're kind of limited to what you get done, I would call it more of a workshop than a retreat. Retreat sounds very fancy. There's no palm trees involved, no daiquiris, nothing like that. Just 4 hours of work over at the central office. That is not something that was televised, so I know that the agenda was pretty heavy. There's quite a lot in it. I've read through the presentation, and it said that they would be digging into it further in a later session, so I can't really speak on how much they dug into. Many pages of it are metrics as far as like how our students are performing, goals, portrait of a learner for anybody who has a kid in Region 15. Portrait of a learner is a big conversation, and then further gets into the potential build of a new school. But again, I don't know how far they got through that as it's not televised. So eager to see where this goes. There's a lot of stuff to tackle this year.
Thank you. Selectman Van Stone.
Neither of my commissions met since our last meeting, but I look forward to updating you next meeting.
Thank you. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Seconded by somebody.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.